All right, hello and welcome in. It is Matt McClearin from The Ticket hanging out with you guys. It is another episode of Sippin' on the Road, and today you will find us here at Union Bear Brewing in Denton. You may go, Denton? Well, for those of you that don't know, Union Bear has opened a new location right here in Denton. Of course, their second location, their other one there at 121 and the Tollway in, I always think it's Frisco. I think technically it's far north Plano, but it is what it is. And today we are in Denton. And my guest for this episode is none other than their director of brewing, Cody Bell, hanging out with us. What's going on, man?
What's going on, dude?
You ready to talk some beer?
Yeah.
So before we get into the flight of beer and the variety that you guys feature here at Union Bear, tell us a little bit about this new location and what prompted you guys to want to come up from Plano to Denton.
Yeah, we were looking for a production space, wanted to grow the brand, wanted to get out in the market. Denton's a super cool place to be. Armadillo Ale Works was here. Unfortunately, they went out of business, which we all hated, of course. Bobby was a super good friend, is a super good friend. But yeah, it was a perfect space for us to build into. We came in, kind of put in a full kitchen, did a full bar, upgraded some equipment in the brewery, and just got going.
Yeah, because that's one thing about Union Bear that I think it's not just a brewery, as you mentioned. You have a full kitchen, the food here is really, really good, and you also have a full bar. So, not that I encourage you to drink something other than beer, but if you are one of those weird people, they do have other selections.
Hey, the cocktails are great.
Yeah, they are. But the beer is really good. And that's what we are here today with Cody to go over a few of their beers. Some of these you'll be able to find no matter where you're watching this, if you're in the North Texas area. And one of them I know is available on tap, and you got to come up to the brewery at the tap room, which I encourage you to do, because if you haven't been to the new location yet, if you've been to the one in Plano, you know how nice Union Bear is, and this facility is right up there with that. They got a pool table. We're sitting in this really cool lounge area. There's a nice outdoor patio, a couple of dartboards, and a really good bar to pull up a chair to and drink some beer. So let's do that. And we're going to start with the Mexican lager, which I've had many times. This may be my favorite beer that you guys brew, because I think for the style of Mexican lager, it is on point. It's super easy and crushable, but it's got that great flavor that you'd be expecting with a little bit of that sweetness, as you would expect in a Mexican lager.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're really proud of this beer. It's brewed with Pilsner malt, a little bit of a little touch of corn, flaked corn, and a Mexican lager yeast, which kind of gives it a lot of that character. We're fortunate enough to have won the gold at the Texas Craft Brewers Guild Cup, as well as a bronze at the World Beer Cup. So this is kind of our baby that we're very, very proud of.
Yeah, and you should be. And again, I mean, a bronze at the World Cup, that's basically one of the best Mexican lagers in the world, is what we're being told. And I think when you drink this, one of the things that I like, and I've gotten really into lagers recently, and especially, I mean, we're filming this on a day that it's going to be 102, 103, and a beer like this that's super light and easy and crushable, but has, because of that flaked corn, just a little bit more of a sweet flavor than your typical lager, which I like a lot. And I feel like you can go through, what's the ABV on this?
This one's right at 5.
Right at 5%. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. On a nice hot day where you can just crush these things, man, this is great.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers. See? Tasty. Yeah, I love this beer.
Thank you.
Full disclosure, I did drink an entire one of these before we started filming. Because, I mean, this is, when I go to Union Bear, I think Mexican lager is the first one that I go to. Because I was at the one in Plano not that long ago. And man, it's such a good beer.
Thank you. Yeah. It's, since we opened this 2 weeks ago, it is far and away our best seller. Yeah, I would imagine.
Anytime you win medals for beer, especially as competitive that category is, not just like at the World Beer Cup, but there's a lot of good Mexican lagers, I think, in the DFW area.
Oh, there are.
So winning the gold at the Texas Craft Brewers Conference is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Our friends at Odd Muse have the 500 pesos, and DCBC has the Juntos.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some good ones. There's some other good ones out there, obviously.
So let's move on here. So we're going to go, do you want to do the New Zealand Pillow, or do you want to jump over to the blonde?
Probably the blonde.
Okay. So we will do, and this is just the Union Bear Blonde. And so let me ask before I forget, so is the Mexican lager and the blonde, are these in package for distribution, like grocery stores and things like that?
So we just started packaging cans this last week. So here in the next few weeks, you'll see The blonde, the Mexican lager, our No Coast IPA, and let's see we have 6 coming out, but we have our 4 main ones that are going to hit first, and then our amber ale. All of these, except for the New Zealand, are in draft right now. Okay. Restaurants, bars, we're in, over 200 restaurants and bars right now.
So pretty much anywhere you are in North Texas, if you want to try that Mexican lager, I always encourage you to get it from the source up here at Union Bear in Denton, but it's available pretty much, if you're watching this, anywhere near you is going to be carrying this. And I know you guys are with Andrew's Distribution, and of course they're doing a great job for you, I would imagine, getting you in these places. So the blonde ale, and I always try to tell people, because I think people get confused, like, oh, I want an ale. Well, that's so many different things. Or I want a lager, which can also be so many different things. So the brewing process between lagers and ales is a little different. So tell us a little about that.
So the main difference is the yeast. Your ales and lagers, it's 2 different strains of yeast. Your ales are going to ferment a little warmer and go a little quicker, usually 10 to 14 days on fermentation. To where your lagers are going to be down in the 50s, and we'll go 3 or 4 weeks before it's time to crash them. And your ales are going to be a little more estery, kind of a little more rounded out in flavor profile, to where your lagers will be more like crisp and clean, maybe a little lager sulfur in them. And this one's an ale. Right. And so the Mexican lager was nice, bright, crisp. To where this one's gonna have a little more of that sweeter, almost not fruity, but estery kind of a flavor to it. We use a little bit of honey malt in it as well, just to give it a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you get something in this, and that's what it would be, is the honey malt, because a lot of people that are out there, and if you drink one of the big domestics, those are the lagers that people look for. But if you want to try something that has a little bit more of that sweetness and a little bit more flavor, ales typically will do that. Like you're talking about those esters that we talk about that make it such a tasty a beverage to have. If you want something kind of like a step up from a lager, a blonde ale is a good entry point to that.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. This has historically been our best seller, far and away, in our pubs and then out in distro. Mexican lager is gaining rapidly, but this has always been our number one. It's just easy.
All right, Union Bear Blonde Ale. Come try it. So we'll move on to our next one here, and you want to go New Zealand Pils or you want to go Oktoberfest?
Probably Oktoberfest.
Okay,
that's what I was thinking as well. Kind of packs a punch with it.
All right, now as I might imagine, you can tell probably you're picking up a little bit of a darker color, like an amber color on these Oktoberfest, which continue to come out a little bit earlier and earlier every year. The key to remember, I think, when people hear Oktoberfest is they think, oh, that's a celebration in October, but in Germany it's actually in September. So you get them out in August to get everybody ready for September, but tell us about the Union Bear Oktoberfest.
So this Oktoberfest, it's brewed with all German malts. You're going to get more of the toastier characters versus like your ambers, and some of those you're going to get more caramel and toffee. This year you're going to get more of the toasty, roasty flavors from it. It's clean and crisp like you'd want a lager to be, but it also, it's probably my favorite style of beer because it does have that lager characteristic, but it also has some flavor, a little bit of body to it, mouthfeel. We love this beer. We love brewing it every year. We've kind of worked on this recipe for a long time, and we're really proud of it. We really like it a lot.
Yeah, you can tell what you're talking about. You get a little bit of that roasty, toasty type flavor to it, but it's super easy, man. Light, almost drinks like a lager.
Yeah.
But with a little bit more of that flavor like you're talking about. Really nice. I know a lot of people like Oktoberfest and really look forward to it every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you were saying, it's August 3rd, and we already have it on. But, we're out in distribution, and you have to have it out there by August 1st or you're going to get left behind. Yeah. So it does seem crazy, but that's the name of the game these days. And I'm all about it because I love the style.
Well, there you go. And that, my friends, the Union Bear Oktoberfest. So our fourth and final beer here that we're going to wrap up our conversation with Cody at Union Bear here in Denton. This is a New Zealand Pils. Now, I would imagine, for those that don't know, Pilsner, so a New Zealand Pilsner. I would assume that means that you have taken a Pilsner and hopped it with New Zealand hops.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. We did use our German Pilsner malts. Just the nice, as far as the malt side, we did our typical Pilsner malt profile, and then we used the Nelson Sauvin and then the Nectaron. Everybody's going crazy about the Nectaron hops. So this one's available only in the tap room right now. It's been a hit. People love it. It is a little hoppy, but it's really
Yeah, and you
nice.
can smell it. I mean, to me, you can smell the Nelson. And Nelson's one of my favorite hops. It's a New Zealand hop, and you can tell on the nose that that's got a really nice hop aroma to it that I like personally. And these types of Pilsners that it seems like are starting to get a little bit more popular, whether it's a West Coast Pilsner or New Zealand Pilsner, where you're taking non-traditional, because normally it'd be like a German hop,
Right.
and then taking more of that more pungent or piney or flavorful hop and adding it to a Pilsner, so you still get that kind of like light, clean lager body, but with a little bit more of that hop flavor to it.
Yeah.
And this, man, God, this smells incredible.
We had originally started writing a West Coast Pilsner recipe, and it ended up as a
Yeah, because it almost tastes like an IPA, but the body, like if you know beer, when I talk about this, the body of an IPA would be a little bit bigger than the body of what a Pilsner would be, and you can tell that this is not an IPA because of the body on the palate is not the same fullness.
Right.
Like, this is really good. I love hops, and I love this beer. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Shout out to Nick Stoltz. He's our head brewer. He makes all of this happen, and he does a wonderful job for us.
Yeah, man, this is really, really good. If you are a guy like me that likes hops, but you still like a light, what's the ABV on this?
This one's a little over 6.
Okay, so not bad at all. A little over 6, easy drinking, but with that nice full hop flavor from the Nelson and the Nectaron. Man, what a selection of beers today.
Well, thank you.
Really good.
Yeah, we have about 18 beers on tap right now here. So we try to do some lighter ones because it's so damn hot. And then, Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest, yeah. Yeah, so there it is. Union Bear here in Denton. It's brand new. Hope you guys get a chance to make it up and check it out here at Union Bear in Denton. I think you'll really enjoy it. Director of Brewing, Cody Bell, we appreciate you being a part of this today. Guys, drink local, and we'll see you next time on Sippin' on the Road here. Matt McClearin in the ticket.